let's go back to Satisfactory. Now, while we were doing Legos for the past 3 hours, and actually all day long, I've been letting not 7 days die, letting Satisfactory run to backlog a bunch of resources. Now, we already had a big backlog of resources, but it's making an even bigger backlog of resources. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and jump on down here and take a look at what we got. Now, we got our concrete. Now, these are optimized factories that we've done. They're more about optimization and being efficient than about being fancy looking. All right. I don't do fancy stuff until the very, very end, where I feel like I have enough resources to do that, and everything else is very efficient. You can see we have all of our basics for our iron that way, and then we have our iron plates. We can actually put this one on. Oh, I don't have any resources on me. And we have our modular frames. We got our steel beams. We got all of that stuff running along here. And we just are getting to the more advanced stuff. Now, I had my entire factory built, and I tore it back down again to optimize the production of all the stuff down the road here. Wow, look at all them. Look at all them motors and rotors coming in. Right here. Let's take a look at our motors. Oh, yeah. Okay. We got one box full. Let's go see if we got another box. Oh, 2 boxes full of motors. 3 boxes full of motors. Hey, that's what you want to see, everybody. Let's see. Has it stopped running? Oh, yeah. Okay. It's still, oh, okay. It's still working on the backside here. So, yeah. We'll see if any come out of here. Let's see. Now, stators is what's slowing it down, but man, we got 6 boxes of motors. That ought to get us started. Now, what I'm trying to do is just backlog those overall resources. And right now, stators is the thing that's slowing me down, and I go tap another node and just do it just with stators. In a future playthrough, what I'm going to do instead of using the central base, which is really fun, this is a great spot for a central base, as I'll do at the node production. So that means that I will take these factories that I'm doing now, and I will do them at the node. And so I'll just have a vertical factory that pulls from the node, and then it goes to the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, and then you can just keep expanding vertically as much as you want, and then it will produce plates. And then the next thing will produce rods, and the next thing will produce the thing, right? So every single node that I tap into will have a singular purpose, and will do a singular thing. Then you run that where you want it to go. You can run it into other factories. You could run it into trains and have the trains bring the resources back. And we're just using the minimum amount of nodes that we need to do. So we're trying to be as efficient as possible, tapping the minimum amount of nodes for the maximum return. We're also overclocking all of our nodes and overclocking our oil and all of that stuff to give us more power and more raw resources without having to actually go and get more nodes and drag more nodes down as well. Now, I do have separate nodes also for my nuclear power. So it's separate from my primary factory here. So we have our lower section down here. You can see that's doing all the smelting and kind of first stage stuff. So you take the raw ore and you convert it into ignites and whatnot, or you take the quartz and you put it into quartz crystal, or you take the quartz and you turn it into silica, that kind of stuff, which I consider to be like first stage. That's first stage stuff. Then once you take your first stage stuff, you're then going to go ahead and feed it up in what I call underruns. And those underruns will then run up to the top parts here where you can see that the plates, ignites, are going in and producing plates, right? And of course, you can see all my run lines of just the stuff that's nearby or stuff that's being brought in by train up here. This is all the train stuff. This one down here is all the stuff that is just bringing by the local nodes. There's a bunch of pure nodes nearby here at that particular location, so it's really helping a lot. And then we're taking each of these different things and we're running them to other factories that are going to do things like reinforced iron plates and so on. Now, once we get all of these going, like we do, and of course we have all of our copper stuff over here along with quick wire and black powder, we'll then take it to the next level, literally up, and we'll run it into here. And you're like, well, Kismet, what's in this cool looking factory over here? Well, this is our manufacturers, everybody. We just finished this last time where we got our manufacturers up to speed and have the ability to use our blueprinting to stack them in a row. It's awesome. And so all of the inputs and outputs are already set up. So all I have to do is run those inputs in there, and it will automatically feed it because all the blueprinting has done all of the line runs for us. Actually, down here at the bottom, has run all those lines underneath so that they all match up perfectly. And you can see I have them stacked like that because this way they have an offset, and then I can use a lifter without running into the one next to it. And that will run up above, and then we're carrying it on to the next thing. And so I can then chain another factory behind it, and then it can chain another factory and another factory. So it makes it super easy to use your manufacturers. And then it's got a massive amount of storage over here. This one has a lot bigger storage because this is the stuff you really want to backlog. And it looks like we're just in our first box here. And then we've got our second box there. Yeah, very nice. And so, yeah, these ones are feeding down. So they're feeding from the top, down, and then back again this way, and then down to the bottom one. So it would be this one, and then that one. So we have 2.5 boxes of heavy modular frames that it is made for us. So very cool. Now, the next thing that we need to work on is our computers. Our computers are vitally important, but there's actually a step in between computers that you need to do. We're going to go ahead and pull it up here under our parts. And that is the thing that goes into the computers, which is the circuit boards, right? So we need to take our copper sheets and our plastic. Now, our plastic hasn't been redone, and our plastic factories are working okay over there, but they could definitely be redone and made better. But we're just going to leave them as is for now. And we're going to go ahead and add another thing. Now, also, on top of that, we'll want to also work on our nobilis. Now, our nobilis can be produced from our black powder, including other things as well. We also need to eventually get our aluminum production back up and running. And aluminum production is in various different stages. Probably one of the most complex combinations, even more than nuclear power, I think. Combinations of both fluids and you're also doing items. So you're doing items, fluids, raw items. You're also pulling it in from quartz, so you can do your silica in there and so on and so forth. It is a lot more advanced. But we do have our black powder going, and we could eventually do our nobilis. Eventually, we want to do our smokeless powder as well, where we can use the residue from the plastic to make smokeless powder. So eventually, we want to bring our plastic over as well. Huh. My neck like in there. Been lurking and finally have time to say hi. No worries, Junkers. I hope you enjoyed the Lego stream there, and now we're on to Satisfactory for a little bit. So yes, we need to work on our computers. So to do our computers, let's back up. We're going to go ahead and do circuit boards, and then eventually do our computers above the circuit board. So in computers also, we're going to need wire, we're going to need more plastic, and we're going to need some of the screws. So we're going to need to draw some of the screws where we're using them elsewhere, or make new screws. We can always get a whole nother node and just run it to it. But what we want to do is just go ahead and tap into some of that and run it to our computer, our thing eventually. Well, we want to get our circuit boards running. Now, that would probably be the next thing I would run in line, because all the other stuff like nobilis and things like that we can put up above like we're doing here. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab this eventually here. Let's go ahead and get some resources back. There's a lot of that in there. Let's get some resources. Let's see where my side one's here. This is where it all is right here. We want to go ahead and match this across this other side. And we'll zoop that over there. There we go. Just so we know at what height we're working. So when we're running our line runs around, we can get that going. Okay, and we also can go over here and think about our power now, that we don't really need to run all of this power like this anymore. All of this stuff that I have running here can be disconnected. There. We can disconnect all of this. And all of this stuff is obsolete. So we can really take all of this power out like this. Notice that the factory did not turn off. And that's because I'm running the power underneath It's actually being connected over there, and it's actually being connected on the low side as well. So that's still going to be collected on the low side, but eventually I'm actually going to remove all of those, and it will all be run in between the foundations where you can't actually see it, which is pretty cool. Pretty coolio. And again, we can go over here and remove some of this power. I think we got all of that pretty good. Let's go ahead and fill this in by where we have our thing here. We're going to probably have to move it because we need to fill in some of these to get another factory going. Okay, so now we want to put a factory over here, and we want to see what we need. We need copper sheets and we need plastic. So that means we're going to need an assembler. And we're going to need to do some basic math as well. And luckily, we've got a very cool spreadsheet, which I'm running right now, which is going to help us do all of that math pretty easily. So we're going to go circuit boards. That's what we're doing. Circuit boards. Nope. Brain. Circuit. The other way. Ugh. There we go. Circuit boards. And we're going to be doing that in the assembler. So we're going to bring that down and the number of factories down. And we are going to use our copper sheets and plastic. And spreadsheets are real useful for this game if you want to do the math in your head. Okay, so what else do we need to do? Oh, I see something I need to fix here. I just realized I'm not even on my Discord, I don't think. I think it knocked me out of there. There we go. Oh, I just never did it. I just never did it. All right, I got distracted. Let me let everybody know that I'm live on Twitch here. Put that on there. There we go. On the Discord. All right. And what else here? Get all this stuff going. Close all that out. All right, there we go. I was just closing a bunch of stuff out. Bringing up my backdrop for a minute. Okay, so we need to figure out how many copper sheets and plastic we're producing right now. So let's go look at copper sheets. And I don't think I'm using them anywhere else. Copper sheets, we're producing 195. So we'll say, okay, copper sheets, 195. And honestly, I don't even know how much plastic I'm producing right now. Let's go see. Let's go take a look. Oh, did I lose my sound? Oh, I turned the sound off. That's right, because we were doing the Lego thing. I turned it off. There we go. I can hear my guy. I can hear my person jumping. That's a dead giveaway. Okay. Let's go in here and let's see how much of this. Now, this is an underrun where you can see I'm running it. And you can see I've got a refinery underneath there, which is producing fuel right now. So this is my fuel production going on here. I honestly can't remember where my plastic production is. I think that's fuel down there and plastic up here. I hate these doors. This is rubber. Rubber on that one. And then this is plastic. So 20, 40, 60, 90, 20, 40, 60, 80, 80, 100, 120, 140, okay. 160 there. Let's see what we're producing over here. Oh, these are my, these are taking the residue and making petroleum coke out of it. Yep. All right, I think I said 160, so let's go with 160 right now. And then we need to go look at what the inputs and outputs of our circuit boards are. Now again, we would come back and revamp this, but we don't want to do it right now because it might affect our overall power. We can take our space elevator out too if we have enough room. Yep. Don't need our space elevator for right now. It's pretty cool when it deconstructs, and it's super cool when it gets made. Neato. Got this floating lifter there. There we go. Okay, so circuit boards. We need to just take an assembler as what I call a play yard. I just throw it down and look at it in the actual thing. Like this. 15 and 30 and 7.5. So 15. Which one's 15? Copper sheets. This is 30, and then the output is 7.5. 7.5. And then we'll just do this here. And then we'll have it auto-calculate all the rest of the stuff for us, like this, and like this. And we'll copy this up here. And so this is just doing a bunch of calculations based on how much inputs and outputs are. And it will tell us which one is the limiting factor. The limiting factor right now is the plastic. I can see right there because it only says that, hey, you only have enough for 2 factories here, or enough for 5 constructors. Really 5.33. You can see it over there on the side. Constructors, when the other one says you have enough for 5 factories or 13 constructors, but I don't have enough plastic to be at that speed. So what I will do is go ahead and take this one out because that's not going to be any use over here. We'll reset that, and we'll say, okay, we're just going to put it to the speed of our plastic, which means that it's going to have an output of 40 of these circuit boards per minute. Then we're going to need 2 factories total for our assemblers, and we have 3 assemblers per factory, so it needs roughly about the total of 6 total constructors, or in this case, switch total machines. There we go. Total machines to make that work. So that's pretty easy. We just make our assembler factory. We run the copper sheets, we run the plastic, and we're off and running. So let's go ahead and get that going. Now I just happen to have, which I really enjoy. I think update 8 is now my new favorite. And that's solely because of the updates to blueprinting. I'm playing the experimental version of update 8. And it is awesome. It is a game changer, absolutely, in the fact that I can go into my assemblers here, and let's say automated wiring, and I can pull up the blueprint. Now, the thing in update 7 is you can do blueprints, but you can't take the whole blueprint out at the same time. So if you make a mistake or you find something you want to change later, it's very difficult to come back, and you have to take everything back out again. And here you can take entire plans of stuff out, which is awesome. Incredibly good. All right, so this one's going to be circuit boards right over here. And we're going to go ahead and put that right in here. Circuit board, and we are going to use our number here, 160. 160 tells me that the input is 160. Circuit board there. And then we'll go out of there, and then we also have a priority switch where we can control turning the factory on and off. And then we have automated wiring over here, which actually is now going to be circuit board hypertube. That's what the HT stands for. This is a separate hypertube system. And that's pretty much it for the front of that. All I have to do is just modify the front of that, and then I just go in here and I tell it what I want it to be circuit boards. And that's it. Because we have it so down and we spent so much time getting it right and getting the ability to pass the power from one factory to another and so on, we've gotten that down. Now, another thing we might want to do eventually is move this, but we definitely need some power over here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and drag a little bit of power down. I'll try to get the top of this. There we go. And I need more of my modular thingies. And we just run along and grab it. Right over here. Oh, none in there. Oh, it's been using them up. Oh, that's what I like to see. I like to see when they're getting used up. We have a bunch of boxes. We move to the top here. Let's go up and tap into those and see what we got backlogged for us to use. Right here, 240. Oh, a bunch of them. Any others? Yes, whole bunch in this one too. Take a few extra. Okay, then back down to what we were doing. Okay, so circuit boards. Let's copy that. And we're running some power over here. Now I need to run some power over here so I don't keep falling down. And basically I'm just going to run it right here so that I have the ability to just now control these off to the side. Around the thing. Now of course you can run them underneath like I've done in my other ones. I've run them in between the foundations. But I'm just going to do this the easy way and just run it around here while we're working on it. There we go. Now what that allows me to do is float up with my little hover thing like that. And I can float up to the next one, and I can then go in there and paste that in there. And then float up to the top one, paste that in there, and now we've got our circuit boards ready. Now this is the A version, which means the front version, and then if I need more of them, I have a B version that I use as well. Let's get the name of this, circuit boards. Circuit board. There we go. And we'll just paste, instead of type it out again, we'll just paste it in there. Like that. We'll give it a different color. What are we feeling now? Maybe some green. Maybe a nice bright green. There we go. Nice bright green circuit board. It's only differentiates it from the one before. You'll see. You'll see what I do it here in a second. All right, save. Right over there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to clear the designer now. We're going to load the B version of that, which is here. And now all we have to do this one's already set up to work with the previous one we just did. So I just go into the assembler and I just paste into each of those the new one. Like this, circuit board, and then up here. And I like to open the thing up so I make sure that I can actually see that it's circuit boards in there. And it's good. Now again, this is the blueprinter, so we're just making a blueprint for it. And then circuit board there, B, it'll set it to the green again with a nice bright green, just to make it separate. And then we'll also go in and organize our blueprints by going to assembly. Then we'll say edit, add a subcategory. We'll select all, we'll paste circuit board in there. And then we'll take this, and I wish this actually got added to the very top and not the bottom. And then we can separate these from the other ones. Oh, I did a lot of green earlier. And there we go. So we got that separated. I'm also going to press 1 on the side of my mouse. It's going to add it to my quick bar down there. So when we do go to add that, it'll be nice and easy. Nice and easy to do. Now all my factories are stacking right next to each other, so it's making it take a lot less space as well. And I'm just going to go ahead and clear all of this down just a little bit, give us a little extra room right over there, and then we'll clear it backwards as we go. All right, so now we have that that particular thing we can put down, but the problem is I'm missing some plates, and it tells me right there. Also, to just kind of preemptively get it going, we can say clear this. We're going to go to our blueprints, and we're going to say, okay, I want one of these. And then how many factories does it say? It said 2 factories. Okay, so 2 factories, and then 1 with the B. Now, I'd probably create 2 factories even if it didn't say 2 factories, because I always make like an A and B, and then if I need more of them, I can then create another B, and another B, and another B, and another B, and another B, because the point of the B one is to chain off the A. The A is the one that controls the power and turns the power on and off. But the B one is just another factory and another factory, and you can chain those forever. You can make 500 of them if you wanted to. They'll just keep chaining and chaining and chaining. So as you can see right here. You see this one? This one goes way back, right? So that's like, how many is that? That's a A factory here in the front. And then these are all B's here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is a total of 7 factories right there running for that particular resource. Okay, so we need some plates and we need some aluminum sheets. And we're just going to fly over this way and get some of that going on. It's around here somewhere. Right here. Our aluminum sheets are getting low. We got to think about doing some more aluminum dealio up in here. All right. And if it becomes a mission critical thing, then we'll do it. But we've got plenty for right now to get us by for a few more factories here, I think. Okay, so this is going to get pushed over like that. And then when I bring it over, it's actually going to add the wall to the missing wall here. And then on the other side, it doesn't have a wall. So when I put the next one on, it doesn't do it. And that's why it turns yellow like that. It's called soft clipping. Where it'll actually let you clip it into something else if you want. Most of the time I don't like any clipping, but the soft clipping is fine because it's basically just putting the wall where the wall would already be. And thus I also, and again you can see I'm chaining this power in the actual foundations over this way. There we go. And then this one is now done. We can close probably all of these up in front here. We've just been chaining one to the next to the next. And that's what you want to do as you're working. You'll want to chain all the factories together, and then your line runs are in the foundations and not out where you have your big things running, your big power poles and all that stuff. You have it all built into the foundations. You don't even see any of the poles. You don't see any of the line runs for all of that stuff. It's wonderful, everybody. It's just a wonderful thing. Remember how all the poles were everywhere? Now we don't have that. Now it's all cleaned up. All right, circuit board. Now let's go ahead and try our B version back here. And we're going to clear some more stuff back here. I feel like we'll clear a good amount of all of this. Just to get it out of the way. Okay. And then over here, we shall line that up that way. There we go. Okay, now our power from this one chains back to this one, so we can turn off both of them from the front. Super easy, and then we'll go ahead, fill these in, and then we have some inputs and outputs that come across, so we're going to go ahead and just bring those two, because this has two, because it's an assembler, and then the output is just a single one into there, so it ties the two factors together. Also, we have a hypertube built in, but we have it off by default, so it's not wasting our power. I waste usually thousands of power with my hypertubes unnecessarily in previous runs. Oh, I need some rotors. In previous playthroughs, because there's no way to turn them on and off automatically without you going to the thing and then flipping it off and whatnot. But you can actually do it with your priority switch now. You can turn all your hypertubes on, off. If you start to lose power, it'll turn off all your excess hypertubes that you don't need and keep the good ones on that you do need very easily. All right, oh, and we got our stuff up there. Let's head up there and look for some rotors. I think I put my rotors away in the rotors box. I think I did. Yep, I sure did. We put the rotors away over here. Hey, thanks for the follow, KGM. Let's show some love in the chat. What up, Paul? All right, and we put all of our rotors away over here. Yeah, look how nicely organized they are now. Very nice. Get a bunch of those. And run back over here so we can run all of our stuff across here and run a hypertube, which is going to back this up just a little bit here. Fill this one in the back. Going to do ourselves a solid and put a wall in where this hypertube's coming out so we don't accidentally fly off the side. And then I'm going to run the power to the inside. So you don't see it on the outside. So you just kind of go inside and then run it. And then you just have a little line run there that you can't see from the outside. Nice and clean. And then we have an entrance there. And I can turn that on and off by the one in the front. Now, I have been putting some in the back. But I'm kind of getting to the point where it feels like the one in the back is really unnecessary. So I can just come to the front, make sure I turn it on. And then it will take me all the way to the back of the factory. And that's why I have that wall there, so I don't go flying off of there. Now, also, I can control that hypertube there. Not even from this factory. I'm going to walk across the way. I'm going to walk across the way, and I'm going to control that hypertube over there. Again, let's see. It's on. We can see the green light on over there as well. I'm going to go over here to this one. And I'm going to go into my circuit priorities over here. And I'm going to turn off my circuit hypertube right there. It's very, very cool, everybody. I love the controllability there. You can see it went from green to a yellow, and you can see that it's no longer drawing in air there. So it just saves you massive sums of power. I mean, to the tune of 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 power, depending on how many hypertubes you're using. That's a lot of power there that we get going. All right, so we're going to run this up and over, and then we're going to bring it down. So we're going to go ahead and run our line runs up like this. And we could probably do with a bit of running our foundations just so we can see where that top side is. And out of concrete. Not really, but I don't have concrete on me. I am definitely not out of it. That is for sure. But see these boxes up here? These boxes are a whole bunch of just random loot that I got from deconstructing my previous factory. And I try to use those up versus using what's being produced. And that's just so that it basically diminishes those extra resources over time. And then eventually I don't need them at all. Which is great. All right, that'll do. And then we have these offsets here just specifically for this reason. So we can feed our stuff in there. Let's go back to circuit boards over here and add it. Oh, actually one of these needs to go the other way. Wait for it to save, lag me. The saving really needs to be fixed. It takes a long time for it to save. They fixed it at one point, but sadly it is back. It is back and it is annoying. Okay, so we want to go ahead and find our copper sheets right here. Here we go. Now our copper sheets are being blocked right now by this, but actually what we can do is we can just offset it like this and take a look at where we're running stuff here. Maybe just run this down just a bit and then run this back and could move that under. Just have this like that. Let's see how I like it. Yeah, that's not bad, not bad. I like that. All right, we'll go with that. Okay, now what we got to do is just take this and move it all the way down. So we're going to do our max line runs. 1, 2, 3. This is going to be 4, 5, and 6 right here. And we're going to go ahead and just keep that in the same position. And we've got our first one in there. There we go, first resource in, and that's going to start to feed into all of those machines. And now we need to go get some of this plastic and bring it over here. And now we're out of plates again. Always out of something. Again, let's burn up all these extra resources. Now what I'm doing is like, I'm in deconstruct mode, acting like I'm going to take it out, but I'm not going to. I'm going to keep it all. What can I get rid of out of here? This silica. Just throw that away. Don't really need the turbo fuel. Alright, that's fine for now. Now what we're going to do is divert some of this plastic to go where we want it to go, and eventually again we'll come back and manage all of this plastic production. I think our plastic production is going elsewhere. Yes, definitely seems to be used somewhere. I think the excess is going into the awesome sink. Yes. Okay. Where else is it being used? Nowhere. Nowhere. These lines are obsolete. Obsolete. No mas. All of this can be removed. And we probably just want to... Again, that's just going in the awesome sink. Really don't need that to go in the awesome sink right now. Actually, we'll just take this one out. We can run the rubber in the awesome sink. This is going off to be used somewhere over here. Oh, for our packaging of our fuel. Not really being used for anything. Yeah, that's running direct fuel, and this is packaging fuel. This whole entire thing over here can be taken out now. Yeah. Yeah. Obsolete. We're dropping boxes. Okay, we're dropping stuff. Let's go ahead and create a temporary box, so we don't end up with a bunch of those little boxes. And we'll put a bunch of stuff in there. We'll go hunt down all of these. It's usually like their little small little thing too, which is really annoying. It's like 3 of this and 5 of that, but sometimes the boxes are a whole lot of stuff. In fact, more stuff than you could ever have in your inventory. Alright, clean that factory up. Again, eventually your factories become obsolete. And again, you want to get rid of them. Again, if I go up higher here, I've got my factories up above, and that'll allow me to float around out here. Let's just take all of these out while we're at it. We can always add them later. You can see that I've got lots and lots of space here, and especially lots and lots of water. Allow me to do all this stuff. Let's take all this stuff and put it in here. And get all of our other resources out. This. These are all resources that we could use, and all this other stuff is just random stuff. We can get rid of the sulfur, we can get rid of the coal, the remanufactured coal. I don't know, I kind of leave those in there for now. Take all this stuff out, sort this, and probably downscale some of this stuff over here. Way too much wire for some reason. Extra concrete. And then get all this other stuff we were using before. Alright. That's looking better. Okay, and we took all that unnecessary stuff out that we're not really using right now anymore. Okay, so we want to get our plastic really to go up. We're not really using our plastic over here anymore. So all of these plastic line runs can go bye-bye. I don't know what I was running there. Running something into there. Weird power dead zone there. And while we're working on it, might as well take all this out. Oh, there I go, dropping loot. What am I dropping? Plastic, no doubt. Drop that. Take this. Okay. Drop some more stuff off over here. A lot of modular frames. So we got a lot of little stuff, right? Little stuff that's like 6 of this and 5 of that and 2 of this. Don't need that much of that stuff on you. You can really save yourself a massive amount of inventory space by taking out the small stacks. Take out the small stacks and you'll be fine. Don't need that many rotors. There we go. Now we're not going to be overburdened every 2 seconds. Hopefully. This. And we'll take out all this other infrastructure that we don't need. Just backtrack it to its source. Okay, now that was running down, but we don't want it to run down. We want it to run up to there. So we're going to go ahead and take it here, and we're going to run it around the corner. Again, we're going to revamp all of this, but I don't really want to mess with my power right now because I really want to get all this stuff going first. So we'll run this over this way. A little bit more to give us an idea where we want to end up. And then run that straight up to there. And then we'll go ahead and just use a double line for now. Now eventually I want to move this plastic closer so the production is very close to where it's actually being used. We'll switch this to a single for now. And so all of this oil factory stuff will be redone. Just like that. Let's get into it. Again, a little power dead zone there. Okay, and this is where we want to run it. Man, that's crazy. Run that over there so it stops doing that. Almost there. Now what we're doing is we're diverting our entire plastic production into this thing. So close. that's just going to make circuit boards for days. Now, one of the cool things is while we're working on our other stuff, while we're working on getting our computers working, these circuit boards here are going to start to backlog, and then we'll have a bunch of them backlog. Now, I actually have a bunch of them probably down below. Let's go take a look in one of these previous boxes of massive resources I had stacked up here. Let's see what we got hiding in this. Ooh, a bunch of fuel, rubber, plastic. And see, there's a bunch of plastic we could just burn up there. But we can go ahead and check this next one to see if we got a bunch of circuit. Oh, we got a bunch of high-speed connectors, that's for sure. Quartz crystals, silica, nobilis. Yeah, maybe not so many circuit boards. We must have burned those up. Yeah, I think we burned those up, and that's okay. We want to use them up. Don't want to have a big backlog. I mean, you can have a little backlog for you. I'd say maybe one box is all you need. And then have it burn up all the rest. Lots of turbo fuel. Rock powder, rods there. Those rods we can take and use in our nuclear power down there. But that's it. All right, no circuit boards. Okay, goody. I thought I'd just check in case I need to. I can just put them in the boxes now because now they have a place. And we're ready over here to go up high and put our factory in. Now, I kind of feel like I'm just going to put these in tandem across from each other and just kind of work my way down. So let's go ahead and get computers again. Computers, there we go. Add that to our to-do list. Now, if you're enjoying this stream, everybody, put a 1 in the chat so I know you guys are liking this. Now, again, this is why I do all these streams, everybody. If you dig it, I'll keep it going on. Okay. There we go. Oh, lots of 1s in the chat. Thank you very much for that. 1,000 Kids Cats for having my back. I appreciate you. Okay. Let's see how many in we are over here. We're 3 in. Really, the 4th one in. 4 in, and then the 5th one is the actual thing. So I use my ramps here as my center of my base. So if we look at this, this line is being run right down off the one off the side. So again, that's 4 in. His 5th one is the thing. So right here would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th one is going to be the actual place where we put our next level machines. And the reason why we're setting them back is so they don't run into the other line runs that are being done for the factories that are working down below. All right, there we go. Now, we already have a manufacturer already set up in our blueprinting, which you can see is working right over there. So we don't need to, you know, remake that. We can just go in and just change what it's making, and bada bing, bada boom, you're done, right? So let's do it, and then we run our lines, and it'll start right up. So let's go ahead and load up our manufacturer. We're going to start with A. Oh, well, unless we don't have enough pipes to get it going. Pipes and heavy modular frames. Let's go see what we got over here. We got some pipes right here. How convenient. Right there. Put the small stack back. I think I took all the heavy modular frames out of here. I did. Look at me go. Look at me doing my thing. And the reason why is because there's a whole bunch of them in here. Let's take a couple stacks out, put those small stack back. And let's try this again, but this time we're going to go ahead and just be proactive and click it twice. And then it's going to tell us what we need. We need some silica as well. I'm sure I have some sitting around. Now remember, I've already made a lot of these resources and backlogged the resources before. And thus why I can just go in and grab resources here and resources there, because I took down all of that. And we're much better optimizing the way that the factories work and our ability to continuously expand those factories. Now, of course, I could also use this mentality of just doing it at the node. Instead of working horizontally, I'm working a little bit vertically, but I'm also working horizontally. I could just work vertically, just stack another one on top and another one on top and another one on top all the way up into the sky if I wanted to. And it would just keep producing it. Now, the way I would set it up is to make sure that it is feeding down, so you don't have to go all the way to the top one every single time to get those resources. Absolutely. I would feed it down or feed it up. If you're going to have, if your main base where you're going to hang out is at the top, well, then you'd want to feed it up. If you're going to be at the bottom, then you'd want to feed it down. Or you could feed it anywhere in between, as long as it feeds to where you're at. Wherever your hub is where I would suggest. Okay, we're ready. We got that. Okay, back to our blueprinter, which is over here. Load this baby up. Okay. Let that load up for a minute. Nothing we need to do with our line runs there. We just need to go up until this one, because I only put one in here because these are so huge. It's really the most important thing is the fact that it has my storage. It has all my line runs already done for me, and the only thing I need to do is simply come in here and tell it what to be, right? Just tell it to be computers. Now, I don't even need to do that. I can just put it down and then go to the one and just say computer. Now, if I want to make a bunch of these in a sequence, though, then I have to go and change every single one. But I feel like at this point, I'm just making separate blueprints for each and every one to see how it goes. So we'll go ahead and change that to computer. And then also we're going to change all of the information about this like this. Computers. Like that. Now it has its own unique name. And that's pretty much it. That's all we need to do on that. And then we go over here. And we say computers. And we say save blueprint. Oop, I should have named it something different, and I should have changed the color. Let's change the color. Yellow, I'm going to say. Light yellow. Save that. Confirm. Save it over the one I already did. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to manufacturer and bring up the B version. The B version is just like the A version, except for it doesn't have the power control. So it doesn't have the power priority switch, because you only need that on the first one, because it's going to turn off the second one anyway in there. So computer, that's pretty much it. Just change that, change what the manufacturer is. And then again, this is computers B, and then we're going to select our color again. It's bright yellow. And we can clear the designer. Get any of these resources back. And then we can go and organize. Oh, there it goes again. I need to make something. Act like I'm making something so I get this. There we go. And then you can see here we've got this. And we can say computers. That is not how you spell computers. There we go. Computers, and we'll move that above this. And this will be maybe my frames. And the computers B here. And then this one's going to go here, and then we'll put that up there. And then you can see we're organizing them by what they do. And then we'll put this in our bar down here at the very bottom as number 1. And then there we go. So we'll also look at where we're having this, and we'll just line it up straight across the other side. Like this. It's actually going to be flipped the other way when we put it down. But as long as that arrow is pointing toward us, we've got it going. At least somewhat in the right way. We hit H for hologram and kind of look at where we're lining up, and then we can nudge it. This is one of the greatest features of Update 8, is the ability to nudge entire blueprints, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. And then what we'll do is we'll go over here and we'll tie the power completely across to the factory on the other side. Like this, if it reaches. Not too bad. Yeah, a little too long, a little too long. Okay, let's find the center. Let's say this one's the center. We'll do this. Now we're specifically grabbing a particular node so that it is what's known as the A version or the A plug. The A plug is your primary power, the power that's always on, and then your B is your one where you flip the switch off and it turns everything off on the B switch. So make sure you're connecting the right switches to the right thing. Very, very vitally important to get that going. And then we can cover up our power connection here. Fill in all this stuff that we didn't fill in. Okay, so now this has power over here. Looking good. I don't think I need to do anything else there for right now. Okay, now I need to get my inputs right to here. So let's go in. Actually, let's take out and look underneath here. Sure we have nothing obscuring. Nope, nothing obscuring our ability to run some lines. Let's do it. Okay, now I learned that this little bar here, this little bar, if you offset this out from that bar and you line it up, it'll line up with those up there. So works really good. Just line them up in the corners pretty much, or eyeball it. Kind of like this. And those should all end up going there. Now another great trick is to start from the top, work your way down, and then make sure that you have your directions the right way. And then you can have it reversed, which I really like. I really like it reversed like that because I can look at the factory and see if it's actually, if the resources are running up the lines. Very, very useful. Okay, so we got power. We have our connections. We want to go back here and add another row just to make this easy. To put our B version in. And this definitely needs to go way more this way. Make sure those foundations match up. There we go. And then we can just take this, tie it back to that one, and now we've got an A and a B factory. Good to go. Now also we can just go ahead and take a minute here to take it from the blue side, which is the output side, to the green side, which is the input side, just like that. Super easy. Whoa. Almost fell off the side there. Super easy. And then what we're going to do is take the output of this. We're going to bring that up and we're going to match it. We're going to try anyway. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. And match it across this way. And so the output of this factory is going to run into the input of the back of there and basically backlog it in all of these boxes all the way down. Okay, we got all that going. Now all we need is some resources to get it going. Now we know one resource that we can get, which we have right over here. Which is these circuit boards that are going. Now, while we were doing all of that, everybody, meanwhile, boom, it's back here backlogging me some circuit boards. So, very nice. Now, of course, it doesn't always match the speed at which your input's going to be, but it does make it a lot easier to manage. That is for sure. Okay, we're going to run this back just a little bit. Actually, could probably get away with moving this over and using a double and then go off over here. Yeah, I kind of want to do it this way. Yeah, we could go like this. Take this one out. Change that to a double. Rework all of this. I love reworking it so it's optimized. And then now that just lines up real nicely with that right there, see? And it's really fun to be able to visualize that, how easy and nice that ends up looking in the end, right? That's going to run down there, and those are going to start running into that factory. Okay, so now what we want to do is, again, clear our list over here, bring up our computers to remind us of what resources we need. We've already got a circuit board, so now we need cable, plastic, and screws. Now, we just happen to be bringing the plastic down already in here, and so we'll want to divert some of that plastic and use that as well. And we probably want to run... How do we want to do that plastic? Can we run that under? Let's run that under. Okay. And so we're going to go ahead and split this. And run this probably out like this. See how we like that. Oh yeah. And then run that to the inside. So now what it's going to do is it's going to divert some of that plastic this way. And then we can go ahead and do it. Now, this isn't as bad as what we had before. What we had before is that the line runs were just crisscrossing everywhere. And it was an absolute nightmare. Now, again, you can clean those up, make those even nicer, and combine the ones that you want to do. I just want to get it to where it needs to go and look pretty good doing it, personally. All right, so we got our plastic and we've got our circuit boards. Now we're going to need some cable and screws. So cable's going to be the easiest because cable's right here. And I believe I'm using cable elsewhere. Yep, down that way. So again, we can just split it right here. And then we can just go ahead and run it right across to there. And now we have our cable. Now the other thing is screws, which is right across the way here. And I actually have 3 outputs of screws. I have the main screws, which are going down, and I have 2 other lines up here for screws. And we can look at these lines and see how well they're being used. They're being used pretty well. Kind of feel like this one's not being used as much, though that is running pretty full speed there. All of these look like they're running pretty well. See how much of a backlog we have here. A whole bunch. A whole bunch of backlogs. So what we can do is just go ahead and tap into the other side by just kind of running this out just a little bit. And then lifting that up. And got this line in our way. This is probably running rods. Yep. So we want this to go up again, so we can just offset it. And then we get it up a little bit higher. Looks good to me. Throw some of this in. That to end up over there. Oh, maybe down one. Perfect. All right, we'll start making some computers, just like that. And see, this is what's really cool. So you can see in the front here what's running and what do you have a lot of and when you not have enough of. Like right now, you can see that the middle one there is the one that we're having issues with, right? We got plenty of cable, plenty of circuit boards. Plastic or screws seem to be, or is that blues or plastic? Plastic, and then we have screws. So it's really plastic that seems to be the slowing factor, but it doesn't matter because we can let it run an endless amount of time. We just let the computer run, and it'll get it going pretty well. It'll also, I can see that the plastic is going up, which tells me that eventually it will be full, and then it will start to backlog that plastic to be used also in circuit boards. So you're using it in circuit boards and plastic at the same time. Now I kind of think I remember some circuit boards somewhere that we had laying around. And we have some extra laying around there, but not a whole lot. Yeah, there we go, right there. 380 of them. So that's a good amount there. Any other circuit boards? Thought I just saw some. Yeah, right here. And yeah, what about down here? What are these? Oh, there they are. There's those extra circuit boards. Now, I've made a ton of circuit boards before, and you can see I've got stacks and stacks of them. So eventually it will run out of circuit boards, or even better, we just put our circuit boards where they go, and then when we need the circuit boards, we know where they are. They're over here, instead of being in these random boxes. Now, I'd put a bunch in there, but I'd still take a stack out for yourself so that if it does burn up all of that, you'll have some for yourself. For sure. Okay. We got that going. What else you want to do? Kind of let and see if those computers are going. I don't think I have extra computers because I was using those for further down the line. But let's see how our computers are. Did it make any computers yet? No. Probably still putting them on the outside. No, not yet. No computers yet. Oh, we have to work on the back. I almost forgot. We have a little thing here. Yeah, we got this actually in the wrong. This is all wrong. Okay. That's right. I forgot. We have to add these in-between lines on this particular factory, because we've kind of maxed it. And then this is going to come up. That's going to line across there. We're going to run that in there, and then we'll see the computers. Well, it actually went pretty fast. There we go. Then we'll see the computers going down to the box. And then the same thing here in the back of this one. We need to take the output here, and we need to run that over here. We need to run that over here. So it's running all of those computers out of there, and then those computers are ending up in the front box. And I think it already made some of them because I saw them running by. Yeah, so it made a couple. Not too bad. Again, not sure if I have a ton of extra computers laying around. Let's see what we got. There's a few in both of those. Again, when we get them going, we don't really need to keep them in these other boxes here. We can just go ahead and gather them all back up again. And put them back where they go. Like so. And then keep a stack for us. And then it will just churn away as fast as it can based on the resources that we have. And then, of course, how long we let it go. That's a vitally importante. Very important. All right, see, and that makes our manufacturers so much easier to use and also to expand and keep adding more and more of those manufacturer processes. Speaking of doing that, let's go ahead and see what we got next. Now, also, we're doing versatile framework, which I rarely ever do. We're doing smart plating in there, automated wiring. It's doing all of that. We've done a heavy modular frames. Oh, we're to our plastic now. We're ready to kind of re-rock our plastic. We already did a circuit board. We did our computers. We're going to be doing modular engines here. We've got to get our rubber redone. Yeah. Yeah, we're really getting there. I feel like we could totally get this going. Yeah. We could definitely get our aluminum going. I want to say that for next time, though. Probably want to rework my plastic. And up my nuclear power. Because I'm producing enough nuclear power to do like 10 nuclear powers, and thus I could take out the take out my oil power and use nuclear power instead, and then I don't need any oil power. I can just take out all of my oil generators that are doing, and then all of my fuel production, I can take that out as well. So I don't need fuel production, and I don't need that. Now, one of the things I'm tempted to do is to run turbo fuel in here. Now, it doesn't necessarily say that you can, but, you know, there you go. There you go. Maybe the turbo fuel would last a lot longer, and we can get that going. We might try that in the future. I feel like we've already got that kind of locked in. Let's go take a look at our nuclear power over here. And see how that's going. Way over here. I bet our waste material's been running. Oh, look at that! Cool. Ring planet. Oh, I could have took my hypertube. Just dawned on me. All right, way out here, you can see we have nuclear power running, and we've got it set up so we can chain the nuclear power now. Big time. Spadoosh. You can see it's got its own water, and I have the water kind of synced with where the power is. And then back here, we're going to get a little radiated because it's producing... Oh my god, it's backlogged in the machine. Oh, that means we got like 5 boxes of this over here, but we got a lot of power going way over here. Holy moly. Yeah, 185 over here. Why are these not backlogged over here? Why is this not running in there? Why does it say there's 50 in this machine, but it's not? Oh, it's our lifters! Ah, come on. Wow, that power still didn't go off, everybody. Even though it stopped running it down the line to feed it in there, I had such a massive backlog that it's literally been running for like 12 hours real time and still has not run out of those. It's got 185 left, though. It will eventually run out. I think these are still got 50 in each of them. Yeah. So, lifter screwed me over again. But hey, that tells you we had lots of extra power there. So let's take our lifters out. We got to get radiated. We better find a place to put this stuff. Big time. Oh boy, oh boy. Put our lifters in. Get it going. There we go, and then we'll just put it back in the thing here. Put that back in there. There we go. Get that off of us so we don't get radiated to death. And then we'll take this one out, turn around, immediately put that into there. Get that off of us as well. Now, I do have some radiation, which you can see I've got my radiation filters, but it burns them up really fast when you have them in your inventory. So yeah, that really screwed us over there. It brought the production of all of my stuff to a complete halt. But the good news is back here we have backlog 9,600, 9,600, and 9,600 of the things back here are encased uranium cells. So holy moly. It's got plenty of encased endurance cells. And you see I've got it overclocked right now too. Both of these overclocked. So that's going to make a lot of fuel rods. Now, just to run these fuel rods, it takes 0.02. So we go over here and look here. It says 0.0 per minute, right? So I can basically, because I'm producing 1 per minute over there, we can basically produce 5. We can basically supply 5 nuclear plants per that one over there that's producing 1, right? So basically we can do 10 plants because this is producing enough for 5, and then the other one is producing enough for 5, right? You can see that it's got plenty of encased industrial beams, electromagnetic rods, and actually this is kind of cool because it did backlog all of that stuff over there, and all of that stuff is now being run down the lines out here, and being run down here. Now, of course, all of these factories should have built-in power backlog and also storage backlog, I think. But I haven't revamped all of these yet either, and all of these I'll revamp as well. But we can definitely do some more nuclear power, which means then we could divert some of our oil power over to making plastic and whatnot, because we're going to need a lot of plastic, that is for sure. But I think what we'll do is we'll just revamp the plastic we have now, leave our oil power for now, because our power is going to go up because we just turned all of that back on, but not a lot, not too much, but it should go up to 7,000 to 8,000, and then of course the rest of our production over here is going to spin back up because that had stopped when it was running. But you can see I had plenty of power. I was fine. I'm perfectly fine with power over there, and it's going to backlog a ton of power. So all that's just fine. Just want to go over there and double check it from time to time because you might find an error like I found right there where I'd run it and then probably did the lifters first. You always want to double check your lifters. You always want to do those last. I'd done them first, then done the connection and thought I was fine, but then you could see it wasn't running through it because the lifters are your worst thing. They're the thing that trip you up the most in the game. And we can see, what are we doing over here? That's getting rid of that residue. Oh yeah, we snuck a thing in here. I forgot. How many coupons I got? 35. Nice. So let's go ahead and get our oil revamped here. Okay, so we've got our oil refineries. We want to put in all of our line runs and all of our stuff in a single factory, plus the ability to turn that on and off. So let's go over here to our blueprinter and let's tinker around, see what we can come up with. Nope, did not want to do that. We wanted to go to our stuff we had before. Did we take all of it out? I think we might have it here. There we go. Okay, plastic factory. Let's go in and get our plastic factory. Kind of tear it apart a little bit and figure out what we want to do. Well, first thing I want to do is rotate it. I don't like the way that it is. Okay, I'll show you a great trick. If you want to rotate your factory, here's our inputs. Huh. This side? Are they coming in from down below? Oh, I offset it. Oh, that's right, because it's stacking. It's stacking underneath here. So they're actually underneath and they're going to the one below because I had an underrun where I stacked it on top of that I was using. Don't want to do that anymore. Don't want to do that at all. Yeah, I want to go ahead and start that again from scratch. Let's go ahead and just make this better. Clear that out. Let's go ahead and start with our foundations. Okay. And then we'll get our refineries. And we're going to say we want to input from the front. And we can definitely input these from from below. We want to have built-in storage if we can. More motors. Where's our motors at? Down this way. Grab some. Do you have time to buffer before fuel gets to generators? I would buffer everything. That's kind of like my new thing. I think you should have a buffer or an overlap before every single step of every process. So you should have boxes to collect your raw ore, right? So you can run it in your raw ore into there while you're doing other things. Then you have a box for running that raw ore, and then you run it through, become ignits, and then you have an ignit box, right? This is back along in the ignits, and then so on and so forth down the line. And the same thing with all your fuels and oil and all that stuff. I do have giant buffers, as you can see, that hold all those fluids, as well as like sulfur and things like that. It does hold a bunch of those fluids as well. What we'll want to do is probably put those separate, though. You probably want to have that whole system of when you're backlogging stuff separate from your actual factories itself. What I really want to do is have the output be the thing that's backlogging, so or saving. So if I'm outputting plastic in this case, I'll want that plastic to have boxes off to the side where I can go and grab the plastic out, or I can continue it on to the next part of the process. Pretty much what I've done with all of these, and that has worked out very, very well. So we're going to go ahead and keep with that idea. Now, another thing also is I need to chain all of this to the next one, and then the next one after that, and the next one after that. So we might still want to do the underrun thing, kind of like what we did with the manufacturers, but these are really tall. So the manufacturers are up really high, so you need this to be pretty low and whatnot. And again, what we have works pretty well. It just doesn't have built-in storage. Maybe we can modify the one we have and just build in some storage. Let's do that. Hold on. Let's change our mind on this one. Let's see. Refinery. Plastic factory. We could just build... Yeah, build in storage on that side. As it goes to run that back. It's running it back on the left side right now. Yeah, we'd want to switch it around the other way to match all of our other stuff. We could have it feed from the back also. Yeah, we can also put our buffers down the center as well. So you have your big tanks down here in the center. Trying to think of what I really want to do here. Yeah, I feel like we want to find a way to integrate this into one plan. Let's try something like our assemblers, right? Or maybe, well, let's look at manufacturers first while we're at it. Let's do manufacturer. And then see if we can get away with take all this out. Get away with our refineries in here. That's going to go up above the thing, blueprinter. So these line runs need to be real low. So maybe just one level. And we want the ability to turn the factory on and off in the A version. So let's say something like this. Be real low where we're just going to run it under here. We're just going to take all of this stuff off for now. Take this one out. Oops, did I take out the storage? Ah, took out the storage. Did that by mistake. Alright, well, we're getting somewhere there. Let's get a manufacturer. Try that again. Alright. So, take this out. Take these. Those lifters. Don't want to take the storage out because I do want to use that storage. It's already done, so all I got to do is just run it in there, and that storage should be good. We can take this out. I'm going to redo those. Let's take that out. Let's take this out so we don't have any inputs or outputs there. And those will stay. And then we want to try to put our refineries in here. Take all that out. I regret taking that out, but that's okay. We'll deal with it later. Want to see if it'll fit. Oh, okay. Choose other things then. Will not fit. It's too high up, I think. It's going beyond the designer. Yeah. So you have to do it at the ground level, and you have to have a lifter level like I already have. But we could definitely make that. We could make that a thing. Yeah, we have to do that whole aligning stuff again. Okay, so this would have to be down at this level. Yeah, you can't lift that up at all. Okay. We have to redo all of that so we could do the same thing we did before where we lifted it up. Probably easier just to stay with what we got and just add the storage. And to make this one into that one. Let's see, let's go down here. What is the one way to run it this way? Not through an offset. through. Run it down the side and then run it this way onto the next one. So you run it in, you divert it, it goes in here and in here. But then you also run it straight so it goes into the next one. We could do that as well, and then we don't need the underrun. Alright, let's take out these doors and see how we like that. This needs to go forward for sure. We're going to need to move this. Take out all of these power things and we'll redo those. Because we're going to need enough room for this. And we're going to have an output to output our heavy oil residue as well. And that is going to need to be diverted to another plant. That sounds like a much better plan to have it just divert. So this should go further this side. And then be centered. Forward, backwards wise. So we have enough room in the front and the back. Let's go with that. Saving. Okay. So, what do we need to do? We need to have a pipe running at the bottom and then items running at the top. We could input it on this side. Could have it just come up and go across. Yeah, how are we going to run the pipe from underneath? Because we're going to have it up where our other factories are. We run that oil from underneath. We can run it up here, across, and then out. And then we'll chain to the next one. But then it's not going to be in the same exact spot as this one. So best to probably try to sync them so they're in the same spot. Alright, let's just, best way to find out, everybody, is to fool around with it. Let's give it another name here. Let's go ahead and call this plastic A. These are going to be refineries. And we'll give it a different color. Purple. Save. That's just so we don't end up having to redo it. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with our wall hole. And we'll test our line runs here. We'll definitely lift this up like this. We want to put a splitter in there. Nope, not enough room. It's got to go forward a little bit. Then on the front side, you're going to have the same problem. We need two splitters. You need a splitter running down there, and you're going to need a splitter going there in there. Same thing. No, that's the front. The front's gonna have its own output. So it'll have to go that way. So this one, we need the splitter in the back. So either run my pipes up above or I feel like the pipes take less space. So if you run your pipes up above, you could do something like this. And then, but of course you got to use more. You got to use more stuff to do that. More pumps. But you could do something like this. It's still going to be in the way no matter what. But you could do it without the lifter. Thing is, the lifters are a problem. Let's go to this. We'll go with that. And with this, let's just do some test line runs here. This into here, that into there. This goes there. Goes off into the next one. Running that in. Now, what I'm only going to be running in oil on this one, but in the future, I'm going to be using both inputs. So the best thing to do is just to get it working on both inputs for now, and then running it to the next one. So figuring that out now is going to be very, very useful. So having this here, we take the wall hole and run this up a little higher. That's there. And this wall hole goes all the way to another wall hole on that side. Then we run our pipes. We can't run our pipes because it's going to go outside the thing. That back just a little bit so I can create a T-junction there. Oh. Hey, better idea. Better idea. Move this over. Run that to there, run this down. Thus it takes up less space. It takes up less space and we can move our thing forward a little bit. I like it. I like it. Let's do it. Just a little bit would be nice. But it's not right up against the side of the wall, which I don't want it to do. And run our connections. Take this out. Put a double input in there. Actually, I only need the one input. Only need the one input. That's coming in there. It's going to there. So it's coming out of there, going into there. Going into both of these. It's not right up against the wall. You can see if it's running in. This is the only problem, is right in between those two. This is going to be much closer. And so we can do the same thing. Go down here to the end. Do that. Let's make this all one pipe. Like that. Just gonna line myself up visually. Go with that, and then see the way that it's doing it. Noodle. Yeah, I feel like it could be back just a little bit, but it doesn't have that little weird. Oh, it's going to do it anyway because it's snapping. That's right, because it's snapping to the thing. That'll be fine. That's fine. And we take out all of this stuff. And there we go. So now we have the ability to feed both inputs right here. And the only thing we'll have to do is come in and make this connection. And then make the rest of this connection, because we don't need all these extra things. So we will have to come in and manually make these connections, which really suck. It really sucks because you can't connect it to the exterior thing, because it thinks it's going to go outside to the exterior of the thing. That's why usually I cut it in just for that reason, just so it'll already have the line runs. We'll have to do some of the work there, but it will actually reduce having to build two separate parts of our factory, like an underrun thing and then all of that, because we're going to have it all built in so that it'll run from one to the next. Yeah, just going to make my own. Like this, and then this. Just run nice and straight into that. So basically, I just feed the oil over here, and then whatever else resource I need right there, and then I'll run down the line. This one over here should be blocked, where that doesn't actually act as a resource. So what I've been doing lately is my ladder. Just put a ladder there, and then you can visually see from the outside that's not an input. It'd be nice to be able to control and just color one side would be great. That would be awesome. Or just the frame of that. That would be much better. Okay, so yeah, having the pipes up higher makes it much easier. But then of course you're gonna definitely need pumps. You're gonna have to, or just you pump it on the outside, you have it already up at elevated outside, or have it way up where it's actually coming down was going to create a natural section there. So yeah, that's looking good. Oh, we like it, we store it, everybody. Should have saved that. You don't have to end up redoing all of that work. Okay. So that's looking pretty good. I like it. I like it so far. All right, plastic there, plastic here. And that will run to there. And then we have to manually run this. Wish I had these kind of walls that also did those kind of walls for pipes. Where you can just have it built into the thing in different sections, 1, 2, or 3. Well, you'd think that would be something they could add. Big time. I don't want to have it where I just make a small section. I would rather have it where all of this stuff is done in one shot. So take this out and leave this. And so you make your first run, which will run it all the way across. You put your thing in and then connect it. And then you don't have all these other little mini pipes that are all in there messing up your stuff. So good to do that all at the same time. Then we have our outputs again going to the other side. So output there. So now we need to do, this is kind of your pass-through onto your next factory. And then we have our actual outputs. And that's where we really need to get our dealie on here. So our outputs are going to be kind of the same thing. We'll want to take our outputs from the plastic and run it into the inputs up here, and then also be able to pass it down the line. So in theory, we could just take this after it's done saving. Way up here, have it merge. Those mergers are going to be real close. Build some over there too. Too close. Too close. What am I doing? I can just do this. Yeah, I can just do that. And this. Yeah. Oh, wait, I can just do this. Better idea. Just do this and turn it this way. Yeah, and then this one is the merger. No, it's not gonna work. Could turn it backwards. And then put a merger in. Hit H to nudge it into place. And then stack some more mergers on it. Just kind of sneak it in between there. Or run it up nice and high. Up over the thing. If I like that or not. Oh, wrong one. Wrong one. I mean, it'll work, but I don't know if I'll like it. That's the hard part. The hard part is whether I'm going to like it in the long run. Then this one will merge into... Oh, not an input. Oh, I have my merger backwards. That top merger is backwards. Alright, let's put this up here. Take this one out. Reverse it. Take that one out. Put that back in. There we go. And this will go into there. And then the previous factory, the next factory, will need to go in that way. Yeah, so it'll come out on the other side, and we can just do what we're doing on the manufacturers and bring it up and run it to the next line, which will then plug into the back of this. Okie dokie. That takes care of that, but what about our residue? I feel like the residue should go down, and we can run the residue underneath to other factories. So we might want to do all of that after as well. Run that down. Oh, if you run it from the bottom one up, it goes different. Huh. I ran it up instead of down, and then it worked. I didn't know that. I just learned that. Yeah, run it down, connect the two pipes together, and then you have a spinner thing, and then it's merging and running down a single line. That works pretty good, I think. Let's save it while we're thinking about it. Save. All right, so it's looking pretty good. We got our input there. We've got to manually run that line, connect this. Probably put a pump in there as well. Maybe I should just have the splitter already in there. And then just make a small connection there. I wonder if I can run it this way. No, well, let me run it either way. I can make those connections there. Make that connection there. Yeah, I should probably just put that in now. Then I only have small connections to put together, and then that'll already be there. So I just got to put these two in connections together. And another thing I could do is integrate a pump in here. So I definitely want to push that on to the next one in the A version. So when it gets here, then I got to push it down to the end of the factory. So I definitely want to have that in there along with the rest of my power. Where's the power coming from? Here in the front. So let's connect these two in the front. And then I'll walk this back to there. So we have our pump connected. We have both of these connected. And we'll want to We want to run that A power back here. So we have a on-off switch. Maybe we'll just put it in the walkway here. And run it that way. Kind of nice if you had that on-off switch integrated into the wall. Let's save that again, making some progress. What I'm trying to do is, instead of having it where multiple factories and I have to stack multiple factories, it's doing it itself. It's basically stacking those factories within one factory. I can just put the one factory down and then make a B version of it that just keeps running forward. So it'll run in both items and fluids, and then the items and fluids can then chain to the next one. And I'll have to do all those other runs. I still got to remember to do this though. And this part here I got to figure out. And the outputs I'll have to manage, but those are fairly easy. You just run them together and then put a splitter in the center and then run that line down. And run it to another one of these that you're using for heavy for residue, heavy oil residue that you'll do. And I like to convert it into petroleum coke. So you're just coming in heavy oil residue, but then you're going out petroleum coke. So what it will do is take that petroleum coke and it will start to backlog it in here in the boxes. But then I'll also have it run out to the awesome sink. So this one will work for both of those. Also, same thing with rubber. You can go ahead and run your rubber in, and you have your heavy oil residue on the way out. And so you could have multiple. You could use this for both of those. You could use it for turbo fuel because you'd have 2 inputs and 1 output. Again, you can control it based on either or. So if you're a gas, the same thing: 2 inputs, 1 output. Plastic's the other way: 1 input and 2 outputs. So that's why you want to think of those other ones that you're going to do later now. So you're just making one factory that you can then reuse on all of those things. Nighty Banana Bread, thanks for being here. What time is it? Oh boy, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. Really feel like I want to get this going. I feel like that's pretty good. I just don't like the way that sits on there. What if we merge it in the center and then run it? I haven't done that in a long time. Let's turn it toward each other. And then we'll run it like this. Yeah, to do that, we're going to need a... we're going to need a line in between. We're going to need a line in between. I'll take these out for now. And then we'll run our line, which actually should be running this way. Then we'll take our merger. Oh, it should be running that way. So we'll take it and we'll run it this way. Oh, we gotta bring it up one more. Like that. There we go. And this will go here, which will be a merger. Like that. Definitely put that back in. And then this one will come up. And it'll merge. Like that. And this will come out and run that out. I feel like I could run it up like this and then run it backwards. And then make this line much nicer too. Up just a little higher. There's always some way to think it through, everybody, and I really love these moments when you get that figured out. Look how much nicer that cross is, too. And it's not blocking anything, it's not running any two. So what I did is I set the outputs, the outputs to aim at each other. I made a line this way, put a merger, then aim at each other in the merge in the center, and then bring it up, turn it away, and then do that loop. And then now I can just take out this excess stuff that I don't really need when I actually go to build it. So yeah, that's I haven't done that in a while, where you do the opposing ones, sending them at the center, and that works really good for refineries. It's not perfectly in the center; it's actually more offset toward that one, but in the end, that's what matters right there. Is that that makes it into that box, whatever the output of this is. Whether it's plastic, or whether it's something like sulfuric acid, or maybe it's petroleum coke that outputs. Whatever that outputs, it should end up in a box, because those are items. So items automatically go in a box. Fluids go into fluid buffers. We're trying to backlog it. So yeah, and then we have our outputs of our residue there. And if we're going to do, let's say we're going to do this for turbo fuel. Our output would be turbo fuel, and the turbo fuel would go down. But then we could take that turbo fuel and we could run it to another factory, which is like storage. So it holds your storage units for all of your turbo fuel. Yeah, that's really good. That's really, really good. So yeah, no matter what happens with this particular factory, we could always build another thing that goes on with it. So, all right, I think that's way better design than what I had before. All right, let's save that again. Save it again. The cool thing is, if you save your blueprints, even if you crash out, it still remembers your blueprints on your hard drive. So yeah, all that looking good. Make sure this is all a high level pipe too. I want to make sure I do the wrong pipe. Mark II, Mark II. You might as well just do the Mark IIs, because there's no reason to do the slower ones now. This is a Mark II, Mark II. All right. These belts are all Mark Vs. That's not an input. A ladder in the way, blocking it. Okay, now how to integrate our power switch. Could just stick it right there. Impede a little bit on our pathway, but our pathways seem to be fine most of the time. So we need our B connector. First, we're going to want to run it underneath. Let's actually run it to the side. Or we just run our B connectors to the side here. Have our A, and then B. Our A can go through there. And B can just run up to wherever our power is. It's being blocked by that line. It's not just doing it, it's making it look beautiful while you're doing it. That's the important part. And that could tie down to there. That all looks good. So that's a B line, and then you have an A line. Then I would leave that off. And definitely stick some doors in there. This whole side doors. Yeah, I like that. Whole side of the factory's door. This way, no matter where you are, the doors just open up and let you do whatever you need to do. All right, plastic. Make sure we got these on the right thing. Plastic. Make sure we have the right plastic recipe to get started. Okay. And then this is going to feed all the plastic into there. And then any other factory we have, we can feed the plastic in. We need to go to our power switch. And we need to tell it that first it's on. This is plastic. We're going to need to figure out what our line runs are. So oil extractor. Figure out what that node number is. We'll give it its own node number. And then this will be plastic. And we're going to produce. I think our oil extractor is 600 or something like that. And we need to know what line is that this line is. We probably want to replace our oil line runs with a train too, so we can run our train straight in here with that oil. We just run it in down below. Hey, thanks for the follow. Yeah. We could just completely eliminate or just build next to it a train line run that comes down and runs across the shore and ends up here. By the way, you can blow up all of this stuff now. All of these things, you can blow them all up. It's super satisfying. What's up, Jonah? Thanks for coming in, hanging out. We're revamping our factory here and making it better and more efficient than the way we built it before. We built it over here with some blueprints, but I've been iterating on those blueprints and trying to find a better way to kind of make a universal blueprint that basically makes it where you can make that stuff much easier and you make all the different levels. So that's what we're working on now. Yeah, we want to replace that with our trains, bringing that oil in. But that oil isn't too far, so not too bad to run it in there. And I'm running it all the way to the front. I don't really need to run it to the front anymore. Run it to the back. Huh. Yeah, I don't think I really need a train for that because the line runs are already maxed out. So no real reason to have a train if it's not very far away. I do everything based on, if it's a train, it's based on distance or convenience. Whoop. Damaging fixed property there. Let's go over here and find our hypertube that goes with that. I think it might be on the other side, but let's run back here and take a little peeky peek. Oh yeah, it's way up here in the front. Oh yeah, some of these are lower speed than others. We should label these too. We should figure out which ones are which and label them on the other end. And this needs some power. And away we go. Why doesn't it run the power down the hypertube? That'd be smart. That would be smart, that the power is built into the hypertube just like it's built into the train tracks. Then you wouldn't have to run lines every single time or run those big lines. You could just use your hypertube. Exactly. I do the same thing in every different stage. I will revamp the base, rebuild the base, rebuild the base. Now this is kind of like the final rebuild because I'm at the highest level of the game now. I've got all the other stuff unlocked and so on and so forth. But I'm more thinking about efficiency versus anything else. There's something over here that's a danger. Oh, right over there. Respawn by my base. Oh. Respawn right on top of where I was building my stuff. Okay, so this extractor, and this is another thing that I need to build a whole thing around and whatnot. And this, instead of having it be a bunch of boxes, this one should be a bunch of storages that's storing all that crude oil as well. And so, again, we have our different line runs there. I don't know, why did I not run this one on the first line? That makes no sense. I should have ran that one on the first line, this one on the second one, and these two on these other ones. And this is going at 600. These other ones here are, I think, lesser. Go take a look. Again, this is stuff you want to write down. I'll write it down in my spreadsheet here in a bit. Yeah, this one's 300 and the other one is 300. Why am I not combining that into a single pipe? Overclocked at 300. Whoa. Look at that spawning at my base stuff. You can play that flying game. Yeah, it respawned one right at my base. So this one's 300. Yeah, I don't know why I just didn't combine that into a single line. Because these will never be more than 300. These don't have like a Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, and these are all overclocked to 300. So I should have combined that into a single line. Oh, what do we got over here? Random resources laying around. Yeah. So basically I should only have 3 lines running. And then at the end, if I want to make it, you know, 300 in this, 300 that, I can just split it at the end. There's no reason to have an extra line run all that way. I think I had it like that originally is because I had the 300 pipes. Big time. Big time. I don't know. The thing I want is I want to be able to put the splitter right on the extractors. Because some of those pure nodes go up to 1200. So if you could extract 1200 from a pure node and then put a splitter right on it, you get 600 out of that one node, even if it's overclocked. It would be awesome. But right now, the maximum you can get, so that would be 1200 coming out of there instead of 780, which is the maximum you can do. When you get your end game, will you restart another Satisfactory? Absolutely. I have restarted 40, 50 times. Yeah, easily. Easily. I can't even remember. There's just so many, I have no idea. Every time they come out with a new update, I restart. Every time I got a new idea, I start a new playthrough. If I feel like, oh, wait a minute, we could do this a different way, let's do it a different way, new playthrough. If I go, oh, wait, this could be better at the beginning, I could do this, this, and this, new playthrough. Again, over and over, especially at the beginning. I feel like the beginning of any game, when you can crush the beginning of the game, the whole rest of the game just gets easier. Absolutely. Absolutely, for sure. We do more architectural work next time? Probably not. Because the reason why I don't build like big old, hydro dams and I don't build, big old skyscrapers and stuff like that is because the home office, Fix It, right here, has told us efficiency first. Not fancy first, not make it look beautiful. They go grab all the resources, screw nature, go grab all the resources. I added that part myself. Get all the resources from this planet, send us all the resources from this planet. That's all we care about is profit, right? That's your mandate from Fix It, pretty much. Is efficiency first, go through, make it as efficient as possible, get it done, and don't tell us anything about it because we don't want to hear about it. That's the standard corporate mentality in real life, so I'm assuming that's the corporate mentality here in Fix It. Yes, environment last. Factories first, as you can see. Mine's very, very efficient. Super efficient running here. Yeah, I really like that design. I like that updated design of our plastic. Though we should probably come back to this after a while, because I've been going for quite a while here on the stream. And I've been up all day, too, working on other stuff. We might want to call it here when we're on a roll. Definitely want to save over here. Actually, I want to do our other save, too. Let's do a whole separate save from our autosave. That save is really a long time. It's a real long time to save. And let's save our blueprint again, just for safety's sake. Okay, I like all of this. I like how we've got our power. We need to chain our power, though. We need to chain our B power from the previous one. So, maybe we want to do this first. Oh, wait, no, this is not going to be here. This is not going to be here. So we might want to go and make this something like this first. And then go here. And then we remove this. Then we just tie it across. We take that out, we take this out. Then we tie it out of the back of the other one. Like this. Let me chain that forward. So we can chain it to the next factory this way. Again, always thinking about how to chain it from one to the next one to the next one. So I'm going to build that in to this one so I don't forget. And to have that tie across. All right. Now, again, this is called iterating, right? You build one, you iterate on it. Not really going to know until you put it down. When you put it down, you start using it, you're like, oh, I forgot to do the thing. Oh, okay, wait, no, I want that to be better. I want to do this, I want to do that. That definitely is something that we're going to do. So this is plastic over here. Save that. Make sure the power is on. Save that again. Yeah, they take forever. They actually made it, they fixed it so it didn't take as long, and then in Update 8, it takes a lot longer. So I don't know what's up with that. They're working on it, I'm sure. I'm sure they're aware of it. But we'll just keep doing our thing. Huh. Trying to think of anything else that we want to do. we're going to take this plastic and we're going to put it down right next to that. And then run all of our plastic right next to where we're working there. And then we can run the plastic very easily up to our computers there. And we're going to run all of this oil over here instead of over there. And again, kind of feel like I might want to just run the oil directly under this row and just run it straight out that way and then elbow it this way and have it elevated up and go down here and eliminate all of this stuff. I mean, I could just work around it here. I don't even need to go there. But go down there and kill all of that stuff and take over all these islands and blow up all that stuff and then just run the oil up above and then over there. And we can take out our oil power. We don't even need it. Don't even need it. All right, look at the sun coming up. Yeah, that's definitely what we should do. And we should combine that 600 line together. What are we using those two lines for? Can't even remember. We're using two separate 300 lines. And we need to go down here. We need to go down here and see what we're using those lines for. One line going right there, and that one's going, working its way up. So that one is going to, directly to our oil, to our plastic and rubber. And see, we're chaining it from one to the next to make it easier to run it down the line. In this particular one, we did underruns. Underruns is where you have a part underneath, which is managing all of that. And then you have a chain from one to the other, and it feeds up from down below. But we're trying to eliminate that underrun and actually integrate it into just one single factory that we can put down, and then we'll have the A version and the B version, like we're doing in our other stuff. But we're looking and seeing where these are going. So we have one over here that's going to this factory. What are we doing in here? I can't remember. That one's doing fuel. Okay, so fuel over there. Plastic there. Fuel here. Fuel there. Why is this one doing fuel? Oh, that's our turbo fuel. Right. That was for our turbo fuel that we were doing, and then we were running it to our turbo fuel after so we made the first level of fuel, and then we ran it to turbo fuel over here. Yeah. That ran out, and that went to our turbo fuel plant that we had there. So we didn't even need that one. We didn't even need this whole plant. Get out of there. We don't need that no more. Isn't that awesome how you can take the whole entire thing out so easily? That's that new thing in update 8, which is you can remove blueprints and in their entirety at one time. And then, yeah, this was running back up that way. Yeah. That probably has a lot of oil backlog in there. It sure does. I wonder if this is running at max efficiency over here. Let's go look. That one is. Yep. Just seeing if it's hurting for base resources, in this case oil. Nope. All of that is just fine. Kind of feel like I have 300 oil which would be 10 of these. I probably didn't do 10 because I didn't have enough power at the time. But I could, just on that one thing, I could be doing a massive amount. And plastic is like screws, everybody. You're going to need a lot of it. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 plastic factories. So we can make a whole lot of plastic, even from the one. But we can make a whole lot more by combining it into a 600 line. And just use that other 600 line for just for making that. And we're already making fuel down there. Now have we just get rid of all of our power, and we have 33 there, and then we have another 33 over here on this side. And if we just get rid of all of that power and just use nuclear power, then we can utilize all of that oil for plastic and rubber or whatever we need, which is a lot. And I feel like in this playthrough that I started to, instead of keeping my previous power, to just abandon that previous power, and this go to the next level of power to keep things running. Because it'll automatically turn everything else off except for the thing that keeps your power running. And that's really what you want. You want all of that kept on, and then eliminate each of your factories that it's okay to turn that off, which is awesome. I like that a lot, a lot, a lot. Wonder how full our things are out here. Let's go take a look. We better think about our nuclear power waste as well. Let's go take a look. Coming out of there. Backlogging in there again, are they? There they go. Alright, let's see if we have more than 185 over here. Now, 185 is still a lot. Yeah, 380, so we just doubled the amount. We could have had that whole entire box full all this time. So that's the way it goes. Now we got a uranium down here running into here. This is our waste train over here. This is collecting nuclear waste and running it way down here to the end. We're going to try to stay up away from it if we can. It's going to go by us here in a second. We're going to try to get as close as we can without actually getting too close. Just trying to get close enough where I can highlight the boxes. Come on. Really? 2,400 there. 2,400. 2,400. Oh boy. And none in that one. Okay, so we're about, let's say, 5 boxes deep. Why am I getting radiated so much? Ooh. Oh, because my radiation filter ran out. Okay, so we're only 5 boxes in. And so I built a bunch of boxes to just backlog massive amount of that waste material. And I'm purposely not putting all my nuclear power up because I don't want it to generate a massive amount of waste material. It's doing fine right now. Now, eventually, we're going to use that material for the next level stuff up there for phase 4. But we've run out of filters, so we're going to need to go make some of those. And luckily, we got the ability to just use our little hypertube over here to get the heck out of here. I'm out. I'm taking a little radiation damage, but I'll be fine because I'm go. That's why I have my radiation way out there and I'm way over here. That's a very important thing. Oh, missed it. And again, this whole part here is separate. So it's just collecting the resources separately through its own train, dropping those resources in. By the way, it's stacked 26 boxes high of raw resources. That's some serious stacking right there, everybody. That's all full, too. All of that's full, all the way up. So when I come back over here to revamp it, I'm just going to have a massive amount of resources backlogged. So yeah, it's going to allow me to have lots and lots of power. Okay, so yeah, I think we should stop there and come back with a fresh mind on it next time. And our plastic should be fine. I wonder if I should also make an alternate version of this that has the industrial fluid buffer in there. Kind of hard to integrate that since these are so big. Maybe if I move this over. Yeah, if I move this all the way over and move this stuff to the other side, then I could put the fluid buffer here because it would have more room to fit in there. That sucker's pretty big. Pretty big. Corporate office given this item to architecture in our factories. This is true. They have done that. So you're welcome to do whatever you want. Get that architecture on. Me, I'm gonna work on efficiency first. That's just the way I play. I have done very fancy builds too before and tried out all the different pieces and whatnot. And those are fun as well, but I don't have the time to do that. The time to sit and work on every little fancy thing that doesn't really have an impact in the game is something I would do after the game released. I wouldn't do it beforehand. I feel like that's something you earn in the finished game. And then you come back and you add mods, and then you make it even more fancy, and so on and so forth. Really, what I'm trying to do is how can I make building more efficient, right? How can I make the process of producing my resources so incredibly easy that I just plop down a blueprint, run some stuff, and boom, I'm good. I'm on to the next thing. Pop it down, next thing, pop it down, next thing, pop it down, next thing. That's efficient. That's the efficient way of doing what I'm doing. But you got to get each plan to be super efficient, and once you've got those super efficient, then you have an infinite amount. You can go tap every single node if you want to, and be making tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of it without batting an eye. Because if you can do that over here, you could do that on your power, and then your power could be infinite as well. You just tap every uranium node, run every uranium node over here, tap a bunch of nodes for all the other resources that you need. Train those over, or do them at the actual node source, and so on. And I'll build another one of these that's all at the source. So it'll just go and make that item, and then I'll just have a train going and picking it all up, or multiple trains going and picking it up and bringing it back. Because that's a whole nother way of playing through the game. See, instead of having a central base, which mine does, and you can see I have all the different factories that are in that central base, I also could just as easily have them all separate at different nodes, and then say, okay, this node is going to be for producing this node is going to be for producing that, so on and so forth. And then if I have a node nearby that goes with that, like say I need coal and iron ore, right? Well, if I've got iron ore nearby my coal node, well, I can just combine those two nearby and then build a factory there with both those inputs. And then I just run the steel ignits, or I just run the steel beams and steel pipes, and that's it. And then it does all the work, and then the actual finished product ends up over here. And then those steel pipes then go to the next factory. And again, you could have it just go from one factory to another factory to another factory. You don't have to have it centralized. I like it centralized because I feel like this particular spot right here is one of the greatest places in the game to centralize your production, because you have all of the nodes you need nearby, and you don't need that many nodes to get to the end, which I've already done some of the end stuff right there. You don't need that many nodes because you can overclock the nodes, which gives you more resources. What you need is you need to progress through the game so you have the fastest belts and you have the fastest pipes and you have the largest containers and the largest storagers. That's what you need. You need the stuff that goes fast, and then the resources to run those things that go fast, especially your trains and things of that nature. Because that goes real fast, and you can make multiple trains. You can just make a loop, right? And you put 12 trains on there if you want to, and let them run over there and grab it just the second it's made and run it back. You could be doing that all day, every day. You could do track switches. You could do multiple trains that switch from one track to another, and one route they go this way, and another route they go that way. I like to keep my trains nice and simple. They have one job to do that one line, and that's it. Like I got a uranium train. It just goes, gets uranium, it brings it back. Get it back, that's it. That's all it does. And then I have more advanced trains that go and do different stops, grab the stuff, and then brings it back. I have a separate train that just does my nuclear power stuff. And that's how it should be. Your production stuff, power stuff should be, I think, separate. So that your production is not relying, your power is not relying on any of your production. And then your power is like a closed circuit, right? So if everything else goes off, you always have your power built in, and especially the hypertubes that go along with that particular power, which means you can get all the way out there to fix the power or add more power or do whatever you need to do. Keeping them separate, the ability to turn things on and off, that is crazy powerful. Crazy powerful for sure. All right, everybody. I think, again, that's I keep saying that over and over, but I'm not really going. But let's go ahead and save right over here. And we're going to get on the Kismet Love Train. Let's go. All right, everybody, this game is way too fun and super, super addicting. Don't worry, we'll be back playing some more later on. Here's my schedule right here, everybody. Next time you're going to see me is tomorrow night, Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless I feel like doing a bonus stream. But for sure, on the schedule, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for 7 Days to Die, Alpha 21 Stable with my crew, Teamwork Tycoons. We're going to be building out our Mega Mansion. So if you want to see some more killer building and how we fight off the zombie apocalypse, you're welcome to come join us in the game as well. I have enough for 20 people to be on the server at any given time. So you're welcome to come in, hang out with the crew, and have a good time. As well. You can also help the stream, everybody, by going over to the social media, which you're going to see pop up in the chat. Pop over to youtube.com/KismetBP. Every single one of my streams are up there, including guides, highlights, all sorts of cool stuff over there for you to check out. If you want to see the beginning of this particular playthrough, you can watch it on the VODs here on Twitch, or even better, you can watch it eventually when it rolls out on YouTube. You can also go to twitter.com/KismetBP. Hit that follow button. The more you guys do that, the more cool giveaways and other fun things I get to do here. Feel free to check out the Discord, the website, and of course, the most important thing to check out, patreon.com/Kismet. Best way to support the stream and support all the stuff I do on all the channels I do. And again, that's it for me, everybody. I'm going to give you guys some love for future giveaways. There's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 caps for you all to enjoy and use for the next giveaway. How are we doing on those retweets? Let me go look real quick here. Let's see. Oh, I didn't do another one. You know what? I'll give you another 1,000 on top of that. How about that? Thanks to all these awesome people right over here for showing the love today. And again, thanks to all my Patreon supporters down there at the bottom. If you want to get your name at the bottom, any level of support on Patreon, we get your name at the end of every stream and every video, and also on my schedule as well. As long as you're a patron, it'll stay on there, and I appreciate that support. All right, that's it for me, everybody. I'm gonna press the button and roll out of here. See you guys Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye, everybody.
Hi, this is Norbert. Thanks for watching. Press the subscribe button. We'll see you all next time. Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. Help support more videos just like this one and keep the Kismet love train a-going by dropping by my Patreon and showing your support. Big thanks going out to Resident Spike, Rotisserie G, JC Hunter, AMZ, Carlos, Jeremiah, the Notorious TDK, and Scriplin. Click to watch more videos, and I'll see you next time.